In addition to Maya lights, we also can create lights that are Arnold specific. And we can find these under the Arnold menu under Arnold Lights. And you'll see that we have a whole bunch of these. We have physical sky, we have photometric lighting, which is real world lighting. We can turn meshes or objects into lights. We also have what's called a sky dome, which creates basically a light based environment. We're going to start off with the one at the top of the list, and that's called an area light. So I'm going to go ahead and create an area light. And as you can see, it comes in a little bit small, but we can move it out and use our scale tool to scale it up. Now, when I have this selected in the attribute editor, you'll see that we have a number of common light attributes. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of those. So I'm going to go ahead and position my light in the scene. And let's see what we get. Now I'm going to just turn on Use All Lights. I can hit the hotkey 7 for that. And as you can see, we're not getting much light in the scene. But we can bump up the intensity. Now, the intensity will depend on the scale of your scene. Now, this scene is scaled pretty large, so I may have to bump up my intensity quite a bit. So I'm going to bump it up to, say, 50,000. And there we go. We've got some lighting now. Now, one of the things you'll notice is that this is quadratic fall off. So as I get closer, the light gets brighter. Get further away, it gets dimmer. Another interesting thing is that the scale of the light does matter. Now, for most lights, this isn't the case, but for this one, the bigger the light, the more light it emits. So you do have to be a little careful about the size of your area lights. And let's just check our results here by doing an Arnold render view and seeing what we have. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a render run IPR. Let's go ahead and view this at 100% and see what we get. So as you can see, this light is basically coming into the scene. Now we can brighten it up a little bit by either increasing our intensity, or we can also increase exposure as well. And again, that should show up in Arnold render view. So again, let's do a run IPR here. So in addition to this, we can control a number of other factors. We can control the shape of the light. So in this case, it's a quad, but we can create a disc or a cylinder, and these are also adjustable by scaling. So a cylinder is a great way to create something like tube lighting or something like that. I'm going to put this back on quad. We also have a resolution, and that's how much of a bitmap it's using if you want to attach a bitmap to this. We can also add in a soft edge to the light. Now, most importantly is samples. And if we're using lights that emit from an area, such as an area light or an object-based lighting, you probably do want to bump up the number of samples because that will create a better soft shadow. Now, we also can control the density of our shadows. And you can see that in Arnold render view. So let's go ahead and do a quick render. So if I run IPR here, you'll see that I can dial down the density of the shadows. So notice how those shadows are basically becoming more transparent, less harsh. And we can also change the shadow color. And just like with any Arnold light, we can also turn up or down visibility on any number of these attributes. So those are some of the basics of how to create an area light.